Hello. Fighting with people on YouTube comments as usual.
Thought you gave that up.
So, what exactly cost $24,000? Even a high-end subwoofer and speaker system isn't more than $3K.
Well, what world are you living in? Because that's not. If it's less than that, it's not high end to me. This is our word. I'm not allowed to say that. Remember, I got in trouble for that before.
And thanks for wasting my time, especially putting this in a Civic. Oh God, at least have bass in a nice car.
The Civic $24,000 stereo of it is really starting to, and I knew it would. It's kind of fun to trigger people. It's like, oh man, there's no way it cost that much. No, I'm telling you, it cost that much. I paid for it, and the dude worked on it for 40 hours a week for a month. And I think because it's so stealth that like the regular average Joe just can't comprehend what that entails, the expertise, the time, the many years of chasing it. I absolutely loved watching him put that together. In fact, I didn't like the system as much until I saw that. I'm like, I like it, sounds freaking fantastic. But until you see all of the steps, all the detail, did you watch those?
Mm-hmm.
It's just so good.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Serious detail.
Yeah, and so
you can tell he's really good.
I mean, just think about even like taking those the tweeter pods and refinishing them. I mean, how many hours did that take? That'd be like $750 in labor just that alone. And so all these little minute details that take hours and hours and hours. And I'm educating people on what something like this entails. That's what something like that would cost to go to that level. And you can go levels higher. You could also I think what people are expecting is like a more visible setup, right? And a more visible setup will look more impressive. Doing like JLW7s and putting like 5 6.5s in the door and doing all kinds of crazy double din shiny, especially if I had like a double din flashy light navigation unit or something in the dash, that they would it would make more sense so to people. But I think it's funny to watch people. Oh man,
those are both up over 50,000 views now, so people are watching.
Yeah, it what's happening is it's getting pushed to like a bunch of regular people. So, but the Civic and it's coming together, man. It's looking good. Anthony gave me some good. Anthony from All Day Anthony on Instagram and YouTube and the Rag Company gave me a couple of tips, which was a great idea. I'm gonna like superheat or heat up almost to the point of melting, but heat up the fender liners in the front because there's so much space up in there, and then I'm gonna contour them up in, and so that way I can fit the spoon wheels and some of the other wheels, so we can swap back and forth. And so now I've gotten all the stuff put together. Of course, it's going to go down and get the engine next month, but now I need to start making little tweaks to make it so that it's OG spec. So. But it's cool to see the 1M is up for sale, so he's selling the car, and I saw people in the Facebook group getting all cranky about that. But I love it. I think it's great. I mean, he'll sell it for whatever it's worth, and some people getting all mad it's not worth blah 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 blah. And the M5 actually sold too privately, and so that's cool. It's awesome. Those guys got to have the car, enjoy the car, move on from the car, sell it, make some money, and it's a little windfall in their life, for supporting. And the really cool thing about all three of the guys that won were all three. I got so lucky in that they were all three like major purchasers or contributors. They've all bought lots of stuff to justify their winning. And so I got lucky in that it wasn't somebody who bought a T-shirt, which could still very likely happen, and odds would favor that it happens that way. But we had one guy who spent so much money that he had like a 1 in 6 chance or 1 in 7 chance or something like that.
Yeah, he was pretty close to.
Yeah, and so we just for fun afterwards we clicked on the random number generator. It took 4 clicks for that that guy who bought all that money to win. So he had it would have 1 in 6 or 1 in 7 chance or something like that. So the Civic is going to be cool, and the part that people are missing in the complaining about spending $24,000 on a stereo is that I'm going to see a return on that very likely. There's still risk, but I think I'm likely going to see worst case scenario, I get I get most of my money back through profitability on a giveaway, but it's win-win from all angles, and I reach a new audience. I get to sell more stuff along the way. We get more views. You can see our our YouTube revenues up to approaching 7,000 a month, in Google AdSense, and so I get some residual benefit, and then future people to come to my website and buy stuff in the future. But the key thing is this is something I am really enjoying doing, and something I wanted to do, something I would have wanted to do with or without a giveaway, and it just so happens that I get to do it without losing my shirt like I've done on most of my cars over my life. And so it's been such a fun process to go through. And I'm really excited to get the B18 in the car, and just continue to make little tweaks. Like, for instance, I do everything I think I need to do for like the brakes, and then people are super helpful, and they say, hey, you might want to consider getting an ITR brake master cylinder, and that will help with your kind of spongy pedal feel. And so those are like little things that you'd only know if you experience that in your car at one point in your life. Like if people ask me about an E92 M3, or I was watching somebody who was dealing with the car for the first time, I could make some suggestions on things. And so on some minute details that maybe you wouldn't find out right away until you've done extensive research. And so it does improve the learning curve for me quite a bit. But it's been fun.
While we're talking about the Civic here, I'm going to get a couple Civic questions. Will the engine swap videos be done by the shop where it is, or by OG, kind of like the audio video?
Yeah, I'm going to do it very similar to how we did it with Sound of Motion. The only difference is John is a YouTuber, so John will capture all the footage. He'll put it on his channel. We'll put it on our channel, and I'll voice over and add in some commentary to it. But I'm part of the fun. I actually really enjoy this. Plus, the timing and ability, the time it takes. Plus, John doesn't want to babysit me for 2 weeks. So instead, I'm sending it down. I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to know anything about it until it comes back. And then I'll watch the footage back, and we'll make a video of it and all of that. Same idea. That's going to be kind of my new MO, especially on places that I've been to. I've already been to not Sound of Motion, but I've already been to
LHT.
Yeah, Sound of Motion wasn't practical because it's like a couple-month-long deal. So I'm not going to go spend a month and try to capture it all. Instead, just let them just grab a point and shoot camera and just grab little clips, and then we put it all together. I think that's the way to go.
I already got a question from Richard here in the chat that I just looked up. Did the GT3 RS get washed? Was looking forward to a broadcast of it. So according to my video list here, looks like Saturday, tomorrow, that video's coming out.
Yep. Yeah, we did a wash and talk yesterday.
So GT3 RS wash and talk out tomorrow. There you go, Richard.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Here's a quick question for you. Can you put G-Technic CSL on rubber trim or gaskets around the doors or windows?
Yep, I do that all the time.
All right, so there you go, Rob. Hope that helps you. Alligator Window 10, our friend Martin wants to know, based on our picture here, what are the OG spec Halloween decorations for your car? You going to decorate any? Put a pumpkin on the front?
No, I don't do any decorations of anything ever.
Bryce is way more festive.
I'm a bit of a Scrooge.
Halloween,
as you might imagine.
Let's see here. Hey, Matt and Chris. Hey there, Matt. Here's a good question for you. How long do Crensless seals last? When should people be expecting to replace or redo that?
Yeah, like 100 hours, 150 hours, or from lots of neglect, I guess, if it was just sitting there. So let's say you had really hard water and you use it once every couple of months, then maybe in 6 months you might need to replace them. But mine clearly didn't need them when I did it, and mine was 9 years old and probably has like 125 hours on it, or maybe 150 hours, something like that. So yeah, something like maybe not that many hours. you figure, how many minutes in a wash is the pressure washer actually running? 15. So you'd have to do like 500 washes before you got to that point. So it's not super often.
All right, let's see. Who was it? Kurt wants to know. Press-all update. Kurt, the press-all bottles are in Miami as of this morning. So they will be here next week. We're going to have a lot of press-all bottles. So if you've been waiting, next week is the time to be prepared to order those. We got, 5,000 something coming. H. Christopher Hoot says, the Civic build is not for me, but it is great to watch. Congratulations on fulfilling your dreams, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, the Civic isn't really for me either, and I'm glad that he said that. I mean, I'm assuming that, some people are like, oh, I'm just not interested in this. It's freaking junk. But I think some of the videos can make sense for anybody. But, that's the cool thing about making a bunch of different stuff. And I got a GT4 going on at the same time, and about to have a garage build start, and, different products and all that stuff. So, I'm just capturing and sharing what I'm into every day, and so for some people that's cool, and some people it's not. And that's part of the reason why we have 230,000 subscribers and not a lot more, because I'm not going to just chase what works. I'm going to chase what makes me excited, which to me longer term is a much longer game, much longer term. It's like I'm playing chess, not checkers. I'm not looking for the immediate sale. I'm looking for the long-term, relationship, if you will.
All right, let's see. We had a follow-up question of that from Jason. Now that you've done aftermarket stuff on Porsches, M3s, etc., do you feel like spoon parts are as high quality as you might have perceived in 2001?
No, they're not. Well, I mean, I guess all the other, like the rigid collars are great, and the calipers look very Brembo-like, and the only thing that was not as great was the hood, and I understand why. It's a race part, and I don't think they're probably just leaning them all together, and that's how they kind of get scratched up by sliding together. But I would like it if they would do it, to be a little bit more careful with those things in packaging.
All right, we got a mountain bike question for you. Cannon wants to know, as a fellow mountain biker that is obsessed, I'm curious as to how you wash the Yeti. All these non-obsessed mountain bike wash videos are painful to watch at times.
Yeah, my Yeti is mostly just spray down, so I'm doing what I tell you not to do with a car, which is a touchless, so I'll foam it down, and then just spray it off, and then I'll generally do like a hybrid drying aid, so I'll soak it down with a bead maker or something, bead maker, and that, like, the frame is so small, and then I'll use like a pluffle, really soft. I'll make a video on it. I'm not a bike cleaning expert, but I keep my bikes relatively clean, just like the car.
We have a couple of requests here. James has a good one. I like this one. Would love to see a Matt do a Raptor build and giveaway. Michelle's Raptor ready to move on?
Yeah, I mean, my truck knowledge, I guess, my Civic knowledge wasn't all that great either anymore. But yeah, it's something I could do at some point. Trucks can get really crazy expensive with some ridiculous suspension stuff, But I guess cars can too. So, and I would do more of a matte spec in a Raptor where it's not so crazy, not so aggressive.
All right, we have one question in the chat that actually contradicts one on Instagram, but they both kind of go together here. So, do you have a least and most favorite Halloween candy that you prefer? Halloween's coming up here.
Most hated would be there's two, caramel popcorn ball, or caramel apple. Did you ever have, like, when I grew up in the trailer park, like, Halloween was like the biggest freaking thing ever, right? And the trailer park is the best place to go, because for whatever reason, trailer park people, they spend a lot of money on it. Like, they budget all year for it. And so at least my trailer park people did. And the other cool thing about trailer parks is, like, boom, 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 boom. It's like house after house after house. You can kind of run and really, really execute. And so, as you might imagine, me being a little bit of a natural fat kid, candy is a big deal. And my mom was always very restrictive of how much candy I could eat. And so Halloween was a major Easter. Those are major holidays for for old Maddie here. And I didn't want to wear the stupid costume and all of that, so I'd want to. Actually, I think when I was little, I think I was really into costumes. But the pursuit was, and I can remember the McCombs, that they were the last trailer, and the mom was always so proud of her caramel popcorn balls that every kid punted immediately in the trash. It just grossed everybody out. So, the daughter, Dawn, who I'll never forget, was always so mortified that, that her mom's giving out these freaking garbage, vomit balls. But my favorite would be, that this is where if you want to, and I wish our neighborhood wasn't so far apart, because I want to be the full candy bar bro, the full candy bar house.
Like not the snack size.
Yeah, fun size bull crap garbage. Come on. And I hate to have some be definite in life. Have something you stand for gosh sakes. Don't get this variety pack of garbage. Everybody goes, this is such a regular people thing to do. If you're going to do it right. Like, I would buy full-size whatchamacallits. Those are fantastic candy bars.
Just
or
get like
full-size. Kids won't like Paydays. They wouldn't know that they like it. They would like it, but Paydays are great. Great candy bars. But even if full-size Snickers, king size, Reese's peanut butter cup type game. You gotta come correct. And we can't even do that because no one's walking. Our driveway is 500 feet long, so even if you sat out, each house is like, kids would be exhausted after just walking through the neighborhood and only get to 10 houses. And every goof in my neighborhood would have some fun size junk, bunch of Smarties and
Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, Tootsie Roll. Come on, people, get your act together. It's like, why don't you just take a handful of garbage and just dump it in a kid's bag? Go get some freaking full size stuff, and don't be making any homemade crap because nobody wants that. And also, stop this nonsense about razor blades and candy bars. It's never happened in the history of ever.
I remember that.
Yeah, they still do that. You got to check the candy. You got to x-ray it. No one's dying. No one's poisoning candy, for gosh sakes.
All right, so there you go. I was going to go candy corn. I'm not a big fan of. That stuff's not good.
Well, like, you don't want, someone dropping loose candy corn in your bag, palming it and stick it in there.
Sweaty candy corn.
Yeah. There's no bullcrap restrictions on Halloween, is there? Not planning on canceling that or something stupid.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Steve wants to know, whatever happened to the snack bracket? The Little Debbie bracket, we finished that. We did that back on, I think it was August 28th.
You got an upset win.
Yeah, Zebra Cakes did not win, I'll tell you that much. So if you want to go back and watch, August 28th. Let's see. Oh, now, Halloween candy bracket. I don't know. That might be a good idea. How similar, will your Civic be to John's Integra, or will it be completely different?
Well, it's already different. It has a crazy stereo in it and a little more aggressive suspension, but it's just I think his is a little more OE than mine. Mine is. I hadn't dug into his. I watched the video, but it was a while back, and I just kind of thumbed through it. I didn't watch the whole thing because I wasn't planning on doing a Honda when he did it. But he has the same conclusion that I have, which is, at the end of the day, it's like, this thing freaking sucks. So at the end of the day, it's what are you going to grab the keys for? A stinky old Integra or a Z06 that he has? Which one are you going to grab?
Let's see. Is there an update on the garage giveaway installation? Do we have a timeline for when that's happening? We're still waiting on the Sonic MSS Plus.
The freaking supply chain. I think we have everything else there. I've got to go pull all the Milwaukee stuff off the shelf to ship up. But I think he has everything else. I think even the lift's there, isn't it? I think so.
Mm-hmm. The lift arrived.
So we're just waiting on the darn cabinets, which is like the marquee thing. And so October 3rd, in like 2 weeks, they're supposed to be here. So I'm going to go up there as soon as I can. As soon as everything's there, I'm going to book a flight and we're going to roll.
All right, we have a couple questions here about the garage. I guess you mentioned the garage in one of the latest videos. So what's the update there? I see you looking at it right now. So
here's the story. I don't think I've told you this story. So I was planning on building the garage where I've been talking about this forever. In that, out behind the wash bay, I was going to build a garage, and one of the reasons I've been so hesitant to do that is that, well, one, I want to really enjoy it. I want to be in a place where I can really enjoy and be there and be a part of it and video it and just experience the whole thing. And have a clear head so I can make choices and suggestions and things like that when we're designing it and building it. So I already had plans for that garage. It was 67 by 40, and it was going to be out back, and we would have we'd build it with attic trusses, so there was some room above. But recently, I kind of came to the conclusion that I don't know if we're going to be living in this house forever. And one of the things that would be a really I don't build things for resale value. I think that's a dumb way to live. But I also don't want to be completely ignorant and totally vaporize money. So if I build that garage back there, I'm going to have a lot of money in concrete. We're going to have to extend the driveways and do all this stuff to it. And then you're going to have to walk. And eventually I was planning on to build some sort of covered walkway, and it would become a bit of an industrial complex-like looking thing where I have all these buildings all over the place. But still cool. Something I think would look really cool. We do it really well. We do some landscaping and stuff where it look really awesome. The garage would look like the house. And I had made the decision. What I was going to do is, rather than building the monster back there, building a 3,000 square foot monster, what I would do is I'd design it so that I build like a 4-car garage, like a slightly oversized 4-car garage. So something that's like 40 by 30, so like a 1,200 square foot garage, maybe 1,500 square foot, 50 by 30, something like that, 45 by 30, and build it. And then I came to the conclusion, well, the smart thing to do there would be to build it 2 stories, so that way I could put a guest room and a couple of things up there. I would really like to have an office and a guest room. And so, 1,250, 1,300 square foot 4-car. And then I designed it where a dedicated indoor wash bay could be added on. And then another monster, the 3,500 square foot garage next to that could be added on. So I was going to meet with the architect. I talked to him or I was going to talk to him and get set up to design it so that it could be bolted on and modular. And then I had before my call with the architect, I had a call with my coaches, and I just kind of brought it up just for fun. I said, yeah, I'm going to be building the garage, and I think it's going to be really cool, and there's going to be lots of participation in it, and we putting lots of cool products in. I'm starting to research lighting and things like that. This could be my chance to start chasing vacuum cleaners and start chasing, lighting, some more lighting solutions, more lighting options. And he said, well, you're an idiot. Why are you building this thing out back? I said, no, I'm going to build it small. He says, why don't you just build it where that pull-through area is? And sort of got my gears turning. And one of the major difficulties is that let's say my house is worth $1 million, and I build a $500,000 garage out back, or $300,000 garage, or $200,000 garage out back. Let's say it's $500,000. I'm going to sell the house for $1,050,000. So I'm going to lose $450,000 on this. So anybody who comes to the house, I'm like, oh, this is great. I love that garage. Thanks. But they're not going to pay for it. It seems pretty clear to me. And so the way to overcome that is to attach it to the house. Now it's square footage. And so I'm going to build a monster again. So it is 70 by 53, and it's bolted onto the home theater, basically. And so that's 70 by 53 first floor is the garage. I'll be making a video of it here soon, but it has I'm going to build it. I was struggling with the 70 by 50 garage, just like this big concrete square with nothing in it. Well, I'm putting a dedicated wash bay in there, so we're going to build a block building inside of the building, basically, and have separate, ventilation and air conditioning, dehumidification there. I don't want some FRP, fiberglass reinforced plastic board, or any weird stuff. I'm just going to block. It's going to be, cinder block stuccoed in there or something like that. So that's what the walls will be like inside the wash bay, and so you'll have a 12-foot door driving in, and that's kind of squared off, and the staircase for the upper level is on the right, so that's where all the utility is going to go, under this massive staircase. And then I'm going to have a 16-foot roll-up door inside, so the roll-up door, because most of the time the wash bay will be not in use, and so I want it to not feel claustrophobic, and so the wash bay is 24 by 19. And then we'll put some sort of glass wall on the corner of it, so you can look into it. But the dedicated wash bay will be this block, separate isolated air conditioning system in there. Probably do a mini split and some sort of dehumidifier. And then that way, when I'm washing, it's totally partitioned from the garage, from the rest of the house ventilation system. I never end up with any mold. Be slot drain in there, and I'm going to have vacuum, air dryer or drying system, dedicated foam lance, so I'm a big 50-gallon tank of soap it'll pull from, and then the dedicated just normal wash wand. So I'm going to have 4 different Z booms overhead, and then you'll pull through, and there'll be a recessed noose bomb lift through the pull through of that dedicated wash bay area, where that'll be sort of the detailing area. There'll be a sink and an array of cabinets in front of that. And then off to the left hand, so that's on the right hand side of the garage, and the left hand side of the garage is 45 by 53, where it's just a big garage with another lift inside of there. Another a recessed noose bomb jumbo 7, and all Sonic MSS Plus cabinets. I'm also going to have a laundry room off to the upper right hand side of it, and then upstairs is I'm going to have 2 guest rooms, and it's going to add about 3,500 square foot to my house, and so under air, and so I'll be sharing with you what I'm thinking there as we get through the design process. I'm targeting, I'd like to do this March, April, something like that. Do it as soon as possible. Let's go. I'm going to do it.
All right, Peter on Instagram had a question that I think kind of leads into that. What was your experience like looking at new homes? So when you did that, did you figure out, okay, I don't want to leave, or I need to...
Yeah, that's what sort of sparked this whole thing. I went out and we were looking at homes on the lake, and none of them were new. There was always a compromise. Just like there was a compromise with our house, that I've fixed some of those compromises. This will be the ultimate fix of that. And I really, if I'm going to move, I really need to build the house. So we went and looked at the lake, and they had a nice little oversized 3-car, almost 4-car garage. And I'm like, man, I saw myself there. And then we went back to our neighborhood is freaking awesome. Living on the lake is cool there, but it's in Okahomka, which is right outside of your neighborhood. There's a drug deal going down.
Ocklawaha.
Ocklawaha. Yeah. Same thing.
It's basically the same place.
Ocklawaha. It's like meth. It's like meth zone. They're cooking meth, and there's everybody's walking down to the Dollar General or whatever down the street because it's the only thing there. And so it's like a little Florida disaster zone, and then the lake, and all the houses on the lake are $1 million plus homes, but all the surrounding area. So it's like the road is here. Rough neighborhood, lake. So the rough neighborhoods are like your next door neighbors, and so you'd be confined to the area, and that's the struggle that I was struggling with. But the lake is freaking awesome, and so you have to kind of weigh that. And so I think it's a great second home. Like our buddy Chad has a second home there, and they spend some time there. And where their lot is, they have a nice neighborhood. Like Ted lives there. They have a much nicer neighborhood leading up to it. But this house we were looking at was pretty rough. There's like potholed road on on the one side, and there's like little baby fence blocking it off. And so I was just thinking about my kids running around in the neighborhood, they have a run of the neighborhood, versus being confined to this little 5-home little spot. And then the house wasn't what we want, and so that sort of got my wheels turning. So we're doing our spray foam insulation, so that should solve most of my problems with air conditioning and efficiency. It'll make me feel a lot better about the house. And then we're going to take that inverted air handler upstairs, and we figured out a solution to fix that. So we're going to fix that thing. And then depending on how the Icynene does, on whether we add supplemental dehumidification, and then we're going to build this monster garage. So my house is going to look like a V, where like it looks now, where the pull-through stays there, so the Raptor will stay in the pull-through. My home theater will stay where it is, and we're just going to design it where it looks really nice, but bolt on this 3,500 square foot monster attached to the house. It'll be freaking cool.
All right, let's see. We got a good question here from Wayne on Instagram. After seeing the Civic video with the mirror that broke, the Civic mirror video was great, but it brings up a question I have always had. Matt, when cameras are not rolling, I have to assume your choice of words in situations like that are spicier. Tell us if you have the same potty mouth as the rest of us, or if the cameras are rolling and you let a good cuss word, is it removed in editing?
No, I don't. You can ask Chris. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't go there.
Used to be back in the day, but
yeah,
I think Michelle helped change that.
Yeah, no, I don't. I just bottle it all up and swallow it, and then one of these days I'm gonna, my brain is gonna, I'm gonna have be blood coming out of my eyes. No, I wasn't really even mad. I'm starting to take things into perspective. I've just noticed things. Maybe it's maturing, maybe it's a combination of factors of really working on myself. Meeting with a therapist weekly and attempting to stop worrying about supplemental factors. There's a really funny epiphany or interesting epiphany I came up with my ART lady that you guys have seen on YouTube. She said, you don't get all worked up about things that you should be getting worked up, like what everybody else is, like potential civil war and a pandemic and potential economic meltdown. Just like, you don't seem to care about any of that, but yet you're driving down the road having a panic of all these things you made up. So I've been working a lot on not letting, like the Civic, I like when I'm doing the suspension in the past and nothing worked on the front suspension in the past, I'm like, why am I doing this? I'd feel this immense weight to like get it done and figure out how to fix it, and some of that had to do with I didn't have enough money. Like I also figured this out, that most of my life, it's not that I've never had enough money, right? It's not that I haven't had the money to do things, because I've always kind of figured it out, right? And of course, when I'm 20, you want a GT3, but you can't. I'm not going to do that. So I always had sort of a realistic stretch perspective on money and spending and doing things, right? So I'm always just a little bit ahead of where I should be, and that's it's motivated me all these years. But I've realized that, where was I going with? So you stretch for things. Completely lost my train of thought. I had this really great point that I'd figured out. So, what the heck was
Getting upset about stuff you shouldn't.
Yeah. So the perspective has changed for me in that let's say in 2011 I bought a suspension for my M3, and let's say it was squeaky and didn't work, or something didn't work right. And I needed to, so by the time I bought that suspension, I was already allocating the next expense to something else. Curtains, or who knows, a new couch or a new receiver or something. And so it's not that I didn't have enough money to do the suspension that I bought. I've already allocated. So in my mind, I've created, this is going to work out perfectly. I've done all the research. I've made the choice. I know exactly how this is going to go. And of course, it never goes exactly how I think it was going to go. And so I'd get so wound up and so worked up because I'd already allocated. My next step was already planned. Well, today, my next step isn't planned. I'm just making it up day to day. And so I think that's helped a lot. Plus, like I break the mirror. I haven't allocated that money to something else. I'm assuming that the mirror isn't going to work and I'm going to have to do something else. And so I'm kind of living a little bit differently. And so surprisingly, This wasn't even like I wasn't even self-aware of it. The suspension didn't frickin' work. Nothing was working right, and I was just like, well, I'll come in tomorrow and tinker with a little more, and I'll come in the next day and figure out a little more, and eventually it kind of worked out. I had to buy a couple of things. I'll sell off a couple of extra parts, and now I've got it working, functioning. So no, there is no meltdown and F words and breaking and stuff, off camera. If I'm doing that, I'm keeping that on camera for sure. So there's no Matt on camera and Matt off camera. It's the same dude. You've seen it all. Unfortunately, there's no more dynamics there.
All right, let's see. A couple quick detailing type questions from Townsend on Facebook. Can you give a quick refresh on the process you use to clean gloss black exhaust tips?
I usually don't mess with them very much, but P21S polishing soap is my favorite product to use like once every 3 or 4 months on your exhaust tips. I find that it doesn't really scratch them up. I'm just not going to get a light out on my gloss black, exhaust tips, because chances are they're going to be scratched, and it's kind of hard to polish them because you might end up removing whatever they did to make them gloss black. And so P21S polishing soap, and then just cleaning them every wash with the Easy Detail brush and some P&S brake buster on them. And that's how I'd care for them. And then usually you won't have to get any metal polish off because you won't build up a bunch of gunk on them if you do every 3 months or so do the polishing soap.
All right, Jerry wants to know, hey Matt, in a previous podcast I heard you say you replaced the bolts in your Raptor's wheels. Did you replace the zinc coated bolts with stainless ones? I have a Jeep Wrangler with bolts in the raceline wheels that look like they're corroding onto the black wheel. Yeah,
I pulled the zinc ones off because they eventually rust out and corrode, and put stainless. I think they were like $300 for a set or something crazy. It cost more than one wheel cost. But yeah, on both the blue Raptor and the white Raptor with the Method wheels, I've bought from Method their little stainless bolts, and it looks so much better. And then it never gets corroded or stained up.
All right, Rick on Facebook says, I'm getting my car 987 Cayman S wrapped in Inozatec Miami Blue. Any recommended coatings? Also, per the manufacturer, this can be polished. Do you have any experience polishing wraps?
Well, on the wrap, you're going to be polishing it infinitely because they're Scratch City. They're so soft. There really isn't much you can do. The thing that will help the most is that when you do coat it, it'll be a little slicker. But, I mean, you're going to be scratching the crap out of it. There's not really any way around it. Yeah, you can kind of polish it. You have to be careful with not heating it up and lifting edges. But you'll find that it's going to look pretty scratched up most of the time. So I wouldn't get a light out. That's why a lot of them are matte finished, because if you do gloss, then they're Scratch City. You just think about it, it's plastic and soft, really soft.
But as for the coating, that's a halo type project, right?
Yeah, I think I'd probably do halo on it. Yeah, I think most regular coatings will, because wrap doesn't have a top coat, so you can do whatever you want on it. Unlike PPFs, PPFs are going to reject your coating, and so it's a lot easier to coat them. But coating will make it slicker. You almost have to treat it like a black painted car. You got to be real careful and real gentle with it.
All right, let's see. Jason has a humorous question for you here. How long before Matt makes a video to get the 8mm nut out of the passenger door on the Civic?
I think it's there. I think it fell into the abyss. It's not coming off.
The winner gets to keep that as well.
At that point that day, my fear was I remove the panel, I start breaking stuff, the speaker doesn't go back in right, everything's just a disaster. So I said, screw it, I'm leaving it in there. Like, not very obsessed to leave the bolt in there. Said, I know when to say when. That's obsessed.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Daniel asked, and this is maybe a question more for Bryce than you, which brand is the top brand of car eyelashes, and what size do you recommend?
Yeah, Bryce would know. Yeah, you have to hit up
Email
Bryce at obsessedgarage.com. Yeah.
He's probably got a couple that is
BRYCE.
Yeah, he's waiting to put on after Halloween. Brian, we have a super chat here from our buddy Brian up in the New Jersey, New York area. Hey, Matt and Chris, happy Friday. I'm really enjoying the OG Crew sit-down videos on Hex Plus. We got more of those coming in the
Yeah.
pipeline.
Yep. I keep every day I come in. I'm going to do 2 of them, and then another day goes by and I do none of them. But yeah, it's on the list for sure.
All right, let's see here. AJC on Instagram says, can we get a tire lettering-esque rant about these chunky aftermarket carbon fiber and Alcantara steering wheels with shift lights that people keep putting on their cars, i.e. Carbon-tastic and Carbon Steer?
Yeah, I haven't seen those.
Oh.
Those don't bother me as much. You know what bothers me the most of those stupid, I see it right here on Facebook, the stupid hex lights. Stop this, people. You don't want that. That's one of those things that's like in the 1970s, you put orange countertops in your house that, is not going to last. It's not going to stand the test of time. So don't put those freaking hex lights in your garage. It's a terrible idea. I'm Mr. Hex, and I wouldn't touch those with a 10-foot freaking pole. So don't do it. Just don't do it. It's not cool. Yeah, it is not what you want. And it's like all the rage. So what do you want? Some crappy LEDs with crappy light quality, and now you got these weird lines all over everything. You can't see anything. This is the most ridiculous thing ever. So just don't do it, people. I'm telling you. I know. Did we talk about this last week? The car guy urge. Got this tendencies. My tendency is to put stickers all over everything. Just you got to fight it. You got to you gotta sleep on it, and then wake up the next morning and say, okay. Yeah, don't do that. Don't make a license plate wall. Just don't do it. Don't. That's why I'm afraid I was going to share a video of saying, hey, can you give me some input? Here's what I'm thinking in the garage. To get a few good ideas. But I know exactly what's going to happen. All these dudes are going to come with all this cheesy bullcrap. Well, you should make a wall of wrenches. That would be awesome. Or you really need to pop of color. So paint a fathead mural of Annie Van Slyke on the wall or something like that. It's like, come on. No, just fight the urge. So stop this madness, please, for gosh sakes. So I've got to make a public service announcement since we're talking about cheesiness and angering. Mike, our moderator, Mike Figueres, sent me a text, and his request was, it would be good. I've got something good for you to talk about on the podcast. More and more, we're getting people complaining about topics on the group page. Maybe you should address it and try to shut them down. Comments like these. If I may be honest, it's because we've really diluted the spirit that brought us together. It's kind of weird. Hey, I'm this best of best and best of best too, and it's all I ever see in the feed anymore. I dislike it when people take one post and then they make it as if that is everything. It's like, you said this, so you must be that, and so. People are saying, yeah, I agree. This used to be a DIY page and a mechanics page, and now we're worried about, what mouthwash is OG spec and all of that. So let's just do a little study here. Let's go to the Obsessed Garage Facebook page, and let's see what we got here. So the first page is me saying, why is my post deleted? Oh, here's a post talking about interior products. Here's a post, a home maintenance checklist. Seems pretty. Here's the ugly hex lights, which is certainly appropriate. Here's some. I wanted to share pics of my garage. Okay. Here is. I just got an Ego blower and trimmer, and what do you think about that? Okay, that's cool. Here's I just put a new ceiling in my garage. Here's black nitro gloves for detailing work. So another detailing question. What's the best garden hose coupler? Okay, that makes sense. Matt's 1M is for sale. So there's a car. Here is, does anyone, the Sonic make the Corvette toolbox? You don't want that, bro. Don't buy that. Here's another Karcher. Okay, I'm still not seeing anything this guy's talking about. I have a bunch of stains on my leather from Kid's sunblock. Okay, that's another detailing question. I can keep going all day. Milwaukee Pack Out, sharing that. Here's a Krensla
green cover.
Somebody making a Sunjo hack to his Krensla. That's funny. I hadn't seen that. I'm going to watch that. Here's 303 Fabric Guard, another detailing question, another garage question. Here's our podcast. This is, I can keep going. I can keep going forever. I'm still looking for one. Sadly, listen to everybody to comment. So here's a question about shoes. Very well written. They added a picture, talking about a little bit of life story. 122 comments. Why would you not want that in the group? Something that somebody's sharing about that's of interest. So stop your freaking crying. So how many posts I just read? 20? So 1 out of 20 is a lifestyle question, is an obsession question. There's a vacuum. Right back into it. Question about the next sale, which I don't like that very much. Here's another detailing. Here's which TV should I buy? Okay, so 2 out of 30 of what display should I get, because there are a bunch of other discerning people. So here's a tip. I think Mike may have wanted to be a little bit nicer. Shut your face. Stop freaking complaining, because the group is awesome. If you don't like it, get out and go somewhere else and make your own and shut your mouth. Next topic.
All right, so Torsion on Instagram says, when painting the brakes on the Civic, the last live stream, Matt said that painting small brakes black to keep them low profile were one of his golden rules. What are some of your other golden rules?
Always lower before doing wheels, or do it simultaneously. Yeah, stop freaking painting your tiny little baby calipers yellow, you morons. Why would you want to advertise you got some little janky OE calipers? Paint them freaking black. So don't do that. What other rules? I don't know. I can't think of any right now. Don't drive around with anything hanging from your rearview mirror. That's stupid. That's I bet you have like a CD hanging from your rearview mirror. I bet you do. Didn't you have something hanging on the Camry?
No.
Or the
everything on my mirror.
the Focus?
That's funny.
It's like swinging
Focus,
around. No stuffed animals on your dash. You know. Do you imagine if I had stuffed animals? It'd be flying around all over the place.
There you go.
And don't shine up your interior. Somebody was asking me, somebody made a comment, can you use whatever that Meguiar, what's the Meguiar's ceramic, whatever, hybrid ceramic wax? Can I use that on my interior? No, don't use it on your interior. I need to protect the plastic. Why? It's in the interior. You don't need to protect anything. Just keep it clean. Don't eat cheeseburgers. Stop putting hand lotion on when you're driving down the road. It's like drink water in the kitchen, put your hand lotion on in the frickin' bathroom, Put it on in a car. You don't be driving around with bottled water and hand lotion everywhere. It's freaking...
I thought of you the other day. I was driving home. This guy in a Corvette cut me off.
Yeah.
He's got his top down.
Yeah.
He's wearing driving gloves while he's driving his Corvette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not cool.
No, it's like, I need to get me some of those gloves.
That's not a cool thing to do. It anytime anybody sees you doing that. Now, it's practical, but if you're ever seen doing that, like on a regular road, just know that no one's going to say anything to you because they know that you're passionate, but they're just inside. They're really cringing. That notice that no one's looking you in the eye when you're walking around like a meat, and you've got like some
gloves on.
Some like leather, little fingy gloves, has like little holes in your knuckles or whatever. I get it. It's practical, but just know that notice that no one's looking you in the eye. They can't look at you. They can't do it.
All right, Steve has a good question here. How's the OG chat on the website been? Haven't seen it pop up lately. Yeah, it's kind of in and out, just depending on when they have time and when we don't have a set time yet.
Yeah,
so we're
just
gonna have
testing it.
Yeah,
it's in beta. We'll call it in beta.
Yeah. Brandon asked a couple times here about the OG M1. It's a 1M. I learned that on eBay. Yep, we discussed that earlier. Brandon, go back to the beginning. Let's see. Matt, how come we haven't seen any Audis on your channel? Any plans to get the new RS6? Are you past your Audi phase?
Yeah, Audi's dead to me. Other than maybe an R8 someday, but I guess the RS6 is cool. But it's just Audi appeals to me so much till you drive one, and then it's like understeer crazy.
All right, let's see. Ooh, here's a good question from Colton on Instagram. What would Matt envision his car progression if he was fresh out of college today? How might that change?
I don't know, man. That's a hard one. I don't know what I would want. I don't know if I would be like chasing older cars. Like, if I didn't know any better, would I be into I don't think I'd be into fart crazy, popping, wheezing, all this crap. I'd probably be the same way I was back then, where I was so against Altezza and just cheesy crap. I was much more into OE plus, JDM stuff. or wanting an like an E36 OBD1 M3, and I don't know if I would be wanting older cars, or if I'd be chasing. Like, I don't think I would. I probably still wouldn't like a new Civic. They look too much for me.
All right, ML on Instagram wants to know, do you have any comments or experience on the Milwaukee M18 Fuel 7-inch cordless rotary polisher for boat polishing? Do you plan on carrying it in the store?
Yeah, I don't. No, I won't be. I mean, I think there are better rotaries. I think the Rupes, I think the Flex rotaries are better. So why wouldn't I stick with those? Stick with the companies that are experts in what they do. I understand you'd want to maintain the same batteries, I guess. But I think, I didn't like it. I like the Flex better.
A Harv 30 says, "Hey Matt, I know you in the past you've used gas-powered Steel products before making the switch to Ego.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Steel has their own line of battery-powered blowers, have you revisited them to see how they compare?"
No, because Steel doesn't make any battery stuff, so they're just going to be. You have to remember that Ego is the Chervon flagship. Chervon is the second largest, battery type manufacturer in the world, behind TTI, which I think is the parent company of Milwaukee and several others. And so I just don't think that Steel is going to be just using a private labeled version of either a Chervon or a TTI product. Someone could probably let us know which one it is. And so, just like the Steel pressure washer's garbage, Steel needs to stay in their lane. The Steel pressure washer is just an AR blue with a different case on it. So, yeah, I don't know that I would go there.
All right, Maurizio wants to know, what do you think about the new BMW 3 and 4 series?
Oh, my word.
Go back 2 weeks, Maurizio. Watch the podcast from a couple weeks ago. I don't want to get them all worked up again. Let's see. Invasion HD says, "Hey, Matt, is there a list on the site that lists exactly every part and piece that comes with the Krenzla pressure washer kit?" It should be on the item description, right?
I would think so, yeah. What, do you want it so you can go shop for it elsewhere? What do you need to know for? Just buy it.
Let's see. Oh, here's a good question from Chuck that you may want to address here, because I'm sure other people will know this. Can you explain what Inside the Hex is? Do you give business advice / tips? Any business info for starting detailing operations? Dang it, what the heck is it?
It's my life. It's the extension of the left out parts of my life on the YouTube channel. So it's inside my life, inside the circle of whatever, of the bolt. If the YouTube channel are the edges of the bolt, then Inside the Hex is the inner circle. It's where I'm doing interviews with the employees and sharing with you numbers. I shared the data from the capacity sale and some of the statistics around what we're analyzing. I'm showing you things first, like I showed all the tools arriving from Sonic and the Milwaukee parts arriving. I'm showing going to the gym and what I'm eating and what I'm doing with my family. I'm sharing all of that kind of stuff. I'm sharing it's more vlog and occasionally sit down based. The next video I'll be making will be telling the story of Obsessed Garage. I sat down and told the story of my exit from wealth management, and so it's whatever is going on in my life at the time. Like, I'll probably do a whole video on how I'm going to pay for the garage and the methodology behind that. So things like that are what the Inside the Hex is.
And then on top of that, there's the 10% off and free shipping when you do Hex Plus.
Yep.
So that's the second level of Hex Plus there.
I think we have 1,500 people or so, something 15, 16, 1,700 people, something like that. And I think it's something we could have 8 or 10,000 people in and have it a pretty profitable little side part of the business that I think that every single person, I think it's worth more than what we're charging. I know it is. Just to, like, if I could, if Steve Jobs, not to compare, I'm not comparing myself to Steve Jobs, but if there was some business that I had admired that had something like that, I would sign up in it. If Mark Zuckerberg had something like this, I'd pay $2,000 a year for it, just to see it, just to watch it. And if you did something, 1 or 2 or 3 videos a week, I mean, it'd be incredible. You'd learn so much. But of course, no one's going to be that transparent.
All right, let's see. We have a question from Eric in Switzerland. Hey, Matt, would you recommend learning to polish or just going to a detailer?
It just depends. If you love it, then do it. But it's one of those things. It's like, man, if I knew how to mount and balance my own tires, I would much rather just do it than to have to go through this whole ordeal of trying to find somebody who's going to mess it up. Detailing is a little easier because detailing in general, you would hope that the vast majority of people that are into detailing are going to be more discerning. But yeah, I guess it just depends. I mean, detailing is a particularly intensive thing, but if you don't know how to do it and you get a bird dropping or you get your car gets water spots on it or something, then you don't know what to do with it, and you're always taking it back to the guy and always having to get on his schedule. And I guess again, it just depends. I don't want to fix my own air conditioner, and so I go through the process and I could probably figure it out. The question is whether you could get access to the products to buy. But I'm just going to hire somebody to fix my air conditioning. So you just pick and choose what you want to do. And I think the way I do it is I'm either going to go pretty deeply in to something or I'm not. So if I'm not going to get into it and I'm not going to buy like the right equipment and chase it pretty hard, then I'm not going there. Like I'm not going to build an office with junk, and go halfway. I want to do a real deal office. If I'm going to do acoustic treatments, I'm not going to buy this bull crap off of Amazon and stick it on my wall. No, I'm going to find a true acoustics treatment company and then figure out and do some calculations. Now, am I doing it world class? Like am I creating an anechoic chamber in my room? No, because I'm not that sophisticated. But if I'm going to do it, I want to go in pretty deep.
All right, let's see. Epiphany Detailing says, any thought to putting new products or pre-orders up for members, like inside the Hex members or Hex Plus members first? I'm just hoping when the press-alls are up, I can get the ones I want.
I don't think that'll be a problem, as long as you don't dilly-dally around. But, I mean...
Not with the press-all bottles. We're getting 5,000 plus. So.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, we are kind of constantly thinking about things in terms of expedited shipping options or moving to the front of the line, stuff like that for...
Yeah, we can dream up whatever we want, but then it has to be executable, and it has to be executable without doing individual orders, one at a time. We're way past the ability to be able to do that. We have too many people and too many inquiries and too many questions, and it's way too complicated and technical. We're selling very technical solutions, and so to be able to execute on it is the trickiest part. I can dream anything up, but then being able to do it is another story.
All right. Someone heard you mention the home theater earlier. Are there any updates? Is it working? Is it not working? What's the story there?
My projector's at Sony. I'm waiting for it to come back. It got struck by lightning. The guys just came out today, and I had them rewire. So they ran the wires up to the peak. I guarantee that was the problem. Because I have a $2,000 Furman, power conditioner, surge protection, everything's plugged into, even the projector. But the projector, we'd run HDMI and a power cord up to the peak of the roof. So I guarantee you, the peak of our roof got hit by lightning. It blew up my preamp and my projector, and it blew up the HDMI board of the projector. So it should be back in 4 or 5 days, something like that is when the projector's due, and then. I needed to have them come out to rewire, so rather than the peak, they ran it around on the bottom of the where the rest of the electrical wiring is, separated the power from HDMI, and so that should hopefully solve that problem. I got to buy another. Well, actually, I was smart this time. I bought the Amazon Lightning Strike warranty package on the preamp, so I should be able to send it in to get fixed or replaced or something like that.
All right, here's a question from Pancake Sauce that will be answered tonight in the video that's coming out, but I'll let you address it here. Any plans on making a package for an OG spec set of tools for around-the-house projects?
Yes. I'm creating the Michelle Mormon package. She's been requesting this for many, many years. where I create like a little toolkit in the house so she doesn't have to walk out to the pole barn. She hates doing that. And so we're going to create a little track backpack. We're going to create a, Michelle Mormon Home Essentials kit and everything in between. It's going to be awesome.
So yeah, that's the video coming up this afternoon or this evening is all about tools, Sonic tools. Let's see. Speaking of Michelle, Jeff's detailing wants to know, Matt, will you get Michelle a Land Cruiser now that Toyota is discontinuing them after 2021?
No, I don't. No, not at this point. She's still the Raptor's still rolling. Just hit 100,000 miles. Got to get the door fixed.
Dan Digna, our friend Dan, wants to know, are you considering a fake detailer shirt based on the design posted in the OG Core?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
Maybe for the giveaway, that'd be good. Fake I saw someone emailed you a great shirt design.
Yeah, little Honda Bros.
Yeah, that was good.
I got Bryce on that. I want that for the Civic giveaway. The other thing I came up with for the Civic giveaway, I got to talk to Bryce about if it's possible, but we may reserve some of the Press-All bottles, and on the giveaway, talk to P&S and bottle our very first product would be we'd bottle like let's say 500 bottles of Press-All with our label and bottled bead maker, something like that. We'd have to get, we'd have to have those caps come in time or figure out a cap for it. But I've been thinking about doing something like that. I'd assign and number them all or something like that. It'd be the very first trial. So what better people than people that are really interested in contributing to try that out and give us a chance to test it out, because that's the ultimate goal, is to have a great bottle and to bottle all the products so everything is in one uniform thing. And then then when I'm buying more bottles, the bottles become more economical, they become more viable, they get tested more and all of that stuff. So
all right, we have a good question here from Dean in the chat, who's from South Africa. Hey, Matt and Chris, I've been wanting to start my own online store selling detailing and car care products and accessories. Mm-hmm. How do I find a mentor to guide me? I'm based in South Africa.
I don't know that you would need one. I'm not sure. He's probably asking me to have me do it. I'm not the guy for that. You just have to be open in life to when the mentor shows up. I feel like they've shown up in my life at different periods, and you got to be open to that. And you got to be willing to ask for mentorship. But don't ask for mentorship, because that's going to scare people away. They don't want to put in that much work. So you kind of ask for things in turn, when necessary.
All right, Alfredo wants to know, what's the story with the M3? Are you going to keep it? Is it getting as much love now? What's the story?
I think I'm going to keep it, but I don't know. I may let it go and then go get another one someday. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no clue. I'm too garage focused right now and focused on Milwaukee and Sonic is my latest thing. I don't think I've ever been so confident in the organization of what we're doing. In the last few days, I've really seen the vision has become very, very clear to me on where we're headed with what value I can provide the world. And so it's just seeing all these Sonic tools show up and sifting through it, and this time, instead of me doing it all myself, I leveraged the team to help me. So what that would have taken me 2 weeks to do what we did, just sifting through it and organizing and reorganizing and then putting it away and pulling out all the tools that don't make the cut. And so then having you help me build the spreadsheet, and then you leverage Aaron to help build the spreadsheet, and Lewis and the whole crew, and my mom and everybody over there, Justin, all those guys helping us, kind of count it all, and so I was able to kind of be a part of that and leverage the help to make it so that it's not so daunting, and so now I can start to think through how to build these packages out and build these systems out that I know people want, because I want it. I want something like this that we're going to create, and I feel like I'm the guy to do that, and I've put together a team of people to help me build it. And so I'm just telling you that the Milwaukee stuff is going to be, I mean, when it's all said and done, it's going to take me 2 years to get through this. But I mean, I have an entire garage filled with stuff that are just accessories for 2 tools. But I know that there's going to be extreme value in what I come up with at that. So and then like bottling, putting the best products in the world in a uniform bottle. I know that that's exactly what I want, and I know there are tons and tons of people. A lot of people didn't even know they wanted that, but they do. Just go open up the top cabinets of my detailing cabinet over there. I freaking hate it. It looks terrible. It drives me nuts. So we're gonna have to we're probably gonna have to have gallons made to match the Pressall stuff, but it's and maybe Pressall isn't the thing. Maybe IK comes out with something I can just buy. I don't care who does it. I just want great bottles, and a great bottle and great sprayer. And even then, a great bottle and great sprayer is not going to be infallible. Not even close. It's still going to break. But that's what I'm super excited about.
All right, Henry on Facebook wants to know, will you try Ammo NYC's new ceramic coating?
I don't think it is a ceramic coating, is it? I think it's just a new version of his whatever they call it. That's not it. Go to shop and go to somewhere on there. I don't think it's a ceramic coating. I think it's like it's kind of like gliss or something like that. There it is. Yeah, see how he doesn't call it ceramic coating? It's a Reflex. That's what it's called. Reflex Pro.
Pro enamel coat.
Yeah. So I don't think it's a ceramic coat. It's like a 1 year type product. 9 month type product. I don't know.
Enamel coating is what it calls it.
I may come across it at some point. But G-Technic is so good. There's just no way. It's going to be really hard to beat G-Technic, Car Pro, or Geon at this game. Really, really hard. I'll talk about this in the Wash and Talk.
All right, what are OG's plans for Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Same as last year.
Yeah. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 10% off free shipping. I guess we can probably do 15% off for the inside the Hex.
Hex Plus, I think.
Or Hex Plus, yeah. Is it possible that we could that Hex Plus moves to the top of the list?
I think so.
Filter those out.
They can tag. They already tag them. Bryce got it to where we could tag those orders, so we could sort by that.
Yeah, so we could, inside the Hex gets shipped first, or Hex Plus gets shipped first, and 15% off, free shipping.
Yeah, so we'll see what we can do. I think we can make that happen, though. Let's see. Jeff wants to know, Flex PXE 80s back in stock soon? I hope so, Jeff. We got the other ones in yesterday, but we are still waiting on that particular one. Same with LHR 15s and LHR 21s. Those are also back ordered. So
we have plenty on order, but as soon as they come in, they go out. Thank you for buying them from me. I appreciate that. Really is super helpful when people buy. You can buy it anywhere. Like yesterday, I was buying some Metcons. I really like these Metcon 6s, and so I bought three pairs of them. And rather than buying them from Nike, I bought them from Rogue. Because I like to support Rogue Fitness, and so, they get a margin on it. Super helpful when you do that. Appreciate it.
Let's see, Matt. Did you ever fear that starting a business from a passion you have would kill or dampen your passion?
No. I've had to manage it, and I kind of feel my way through it. For instance, I don't like to travel. So, and I was traveling around all over the place until I realized that, I don't like this traveling business. So, no, I'll just make it. The beauty of it is passion. You can make it work. You can figure it out. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I'm not worried about it.
I knew you were going to trigger our buddy Jeff out there in Oregon.
What's
buying
he saying?
Nike shoes from Rogue. Sorry, Jeff. Let's see. Neil asked a question here. That's what I was just looking up. What's your top selling product on OG? Well, quantity-wise, it's Swiss Tracks because we obviously buy more than one of those. Volume-wise, it's the K1322 TS pressure washer.
Yeah.
With a lot of them sold this year. Nope. That's not. Let me go back and do that, but it's still going to be the same answer. Yep, K1322, Swiss Track Ribs Track, Complete Quinzla Pressure Washer Solution, Custom Install. Those are the top ones, volume-wise. Lighting, K1700. Hey, Karcher made the top 10. Look at that. It's good sell. A ton of Karchers.
Hmm.
And then custom OG spec, Mosmatic equipment. So, obviously, those are the kind of the higher price, but volume-wise, those go
Yeah.
pretty quickly. Good question. All right, let's see. Swiss Tracks is on my to-buy list. That's good. I thought I had one more question. Oh, Simon from Facebook wants to know, did you watch Pan's video about graphene coatings?
No, I haven't. Did he just put one up recently?
I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, all the stuff I've been ranting about that I just kind of deductively reasoned out is all kind of coming out. You know, his video. What
A graphene coating snake oil. That was yesterday.
Yeah, it's freaking bull crap. I'm telling you what it is. I've told you what it is. I know exactly what it is without even having to see it. Just with an educated guess. And now the best video to watch is Jason from Chicago Auto Pros. You go watch his video. They put an extensive test and everything together, and it kind of answers the question. And Jason has Tim from Ethos on, and Tim's kind of at the forefront of all this whole thing, and he's smart. He's smart to this is what people want. But people like us, the OG types, most of us, you need to just let that stuff go. It's not real. It's not a thing. It's not a thing that we even need. And I'm just suspicion is something better with freaking water spots. Get out of here. It's the same product. It's the same thing. This might have a little bit different goop inside the bottle, but it's the same product. It's the same exact carrier. And forget all the spray crap. Just forget that. Don't even waste your time with that. Graphene spray. Come on. Get out of here. You can't even deliver graphene in a solvent-based resin that could kill you. And how are you going to do it in a bottle of water shaken up? Come on. I mean, you're smarter than that. Well, you're probably not if you're asking the question. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. So what did Pan say about it? I'll go watch it now.
I don't know. There's 3 here that popped up. So we have graphene coating by Glassparency. That was a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
The future of paint protection. Then a week ago, graphene spray coating from 303. Easy on, easy off. No curing needed. All caps.
But remember, Pan's place is to follow and to essentially report on what's trending. What's working. That's his model, which is a great model. My model is very different, and then I'm just doing what I like to do, and I don't like to do. In fact, I rebel against what's trending. I just don't. It's not my thing. When everybody's talking about Mustangs driving into crowds, it's not my thing. But from an attention and audience perspective, your best way to gain attention and to gain people's input is to share what's on top of mind. And I'm not really. That's not my place. My place is to buy 1,894 tools and figure out which is the right one.
All right, then another one popped up. This one might be good. I don't know. With Levi from the Rag Company talking about it with Ivan Lacroix.
Yeah.
He's kind of the sciencey guy, right? He might be able to shed
Well,
some light.
Ivan worked very closely with Dr. Gadusi at Optimum for many, many years. So, and then Ivan had a very robust production type detailing business, where they did all types of detailing, but in I think Montreal or somewhere in Quebec. And so he has a world of experience. He's worked for many, many companies and consulted on many, many different things, and so he has a body of knowledge around these things. But the difficulty here and I'll just go watch the wash and talk at the end of the video. And I hold no ill will for any of these companies coming out with a product. I'm just not interested in them. It's just not. It's not real. It's just not. And it's not. It's like selling a contrast ratio on your TV, or it's like I don't know. It's just not it. I always see people talking about, Pan. Why do people get so bent out of shape about Pan being sponsored and being an advertiser, if you will? That's what his channel is. He's sharing his input based on, companies providing him product. And so why wouldn't you get paid to do that? He's not selling product. He's just trying stuff out. And he's a super happy dude. So of course he likes everything. He likes everybody. He's a nice guy. I mean, what do you want him to do? You don't want to bash everything? I don't know.
I think this is the video they're speaking about here in the chat. This one was from yesterday. It's over an hour long.
Yeah.
And he interviews a chemist from a leading car detailing product company to debunk myths and answer your questions.
Who's the company?
Let's see.
Oh,
that guy.
Oh boy, yeah, that's not gonna work. Well, he got paid for that one then. Sorry, Pan. It's 303. Yeah. So they bought graphene off the shelf from a blender. I can tell you, I don't even have to watch it. I know exactly what he's gonna say. Not Pan, but the other guy. He's gonna say that they've been developing this for many years and many versions of tests. And that's basically what they did is they bought the raw material, refined graphene oxide, and then the raw material provider makes a suggestion on what carrier compounds need to go in order for it to bond to, and then you never actually know what it's doing or how it's being delivered, how it's being bonded. They shake it up, and they hope it works, and they try it again, and then they have a product and they sell it. And forget this whole water spot bull crap. It's not any different, because what it is, it's a synthetic spray sealant in a bottle that has a little bit of mixed in refined graphene oxide that may or may not do something. Done. I'm not a chemist, but I did stay at a Motel 6 last night.
You'd never stay at a Motel 6. Quattro Audi says, Matt, will there be more #janky shirts available? No. Yeah. Those 4 or 5 shirts were.
I know. I have them. I own them. They're my shirts. I don't even like them. I don't even wear them. So, some you make shirts, and sometimes they just don't work for me.
All right. Let's see. I think that's all the questions I got. You got anything you want to?
No, I think I covered it all. I got to clean my screen. Look how slimy that is. What am I been using lotion everywhere? Walking around with lotion and bottles of water.
How many Camry posters sold? All of them, of course.
All 10 of them, finally. You sure they all sold?
I bought 8 of them, but yeah. This one. No, we actually, I think there's 5 sold and 5 left. Oh, we have one more super chat. Good thing we stuck around an extra minute there. From Jay. Hey, he super chat last week. Thanks, Jay. Hey, Matt, how bad was your OCD when you broke the spoon mirror? If it was mine, I wouldn't be able to sleep that night.
Yeah, because I ordered another set immediately. It took this thing off. So it was pretty quick. I'm not even thinking about it. I love the fact that I didn't even think of this, of trolling people on this, but just super gluing the piece on. I'm like, I don't want to take the mirror back off and drop another bolt in the door. So I'm just going to jam this piece in here to keep the water from getting in there. And
just leave it.
Yeah.
Brian thinks you've been eating cheeseburgers while using your phone. What did you have for lunch today?
I know. No, I had a spinach and grilled chicken wrap.
Oh.
I'm on it. I'm started. I was watching the Civic mirror video. I'm like doing all this working out. I'm in freaking great shape, or reason in comparison to where I've been, and it's I just lose 30 pounds. Just do it. I can't do it. I'm too hungry. I'm so hungry every night. Get home and just start freaking eating everything. Goldfish. The other day I was eating pretzels. I don't even like pretzels. Just scarfing down pretzels for no, just I'm freaking starving. I even ate Dave when Dave was here.
Plots?
Yeah, he bought some freaking raspberry white chocolate ice cream. Ugh. It's like got raspberry in it. Like, oh, gross. And I'm freaking eating it. Trying to eat around the raspberry. Like, why would you put health inside a dessert? Some freaking, and it's not even really healthy. It's like sugar infused raspberry vomit. It's like somebody chewed it up and spit it in the ice cream. It's freaking gross. And it was in there for like 2 weeks, just sitting there. And I'm like, we had nothing in the house. I had pretzels or that. So I'm eating pretzels and that.
Were you dipping the pretzels in the ice cream?
I probably would have tasted better if I just ground up some pretzels and throw it in there to help mask some of the vomit raspberries. Gross. You can tell no one in the house wanted it. There's no junk food to be found for miles, and it was in the fridge for weeks. And then I'm gnawing on this. Finally, I just ate the whole thing in like 2 nights. It's terrible.
All right, 2 things there. Here, then we'll go. Do you have any sort of update on the Unify setup coming video?
No video, but Jim's over there right now working on it.
Okay, and then Alkaline Taupe Hat. It absolutely made my week to get the signed Slamry poster in the mail. To me, it represents the best of the OG community. Thank you, guys. So there you go. Yeah, out of all the ones we sold, most of them have gone out signed. It's interesting. We got everybody here to sign it because that's what the folks requested. All right, so thank you, everyone, for the questions and for the time this afternoon. Hope you have a good weekend.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
We'll be back next week.
Later.
Oh, man. Is it hot in here or am I just
Yeah, it's a little warm.